Born in Tehran, Shohreh Aghdashloo began her career acting in Iranian films in the 1970s. After leaving Iran, Shohreh moved to the UK, where she began a promising career as a journalist. Eventually, she emigrated to the United States, moving to Los Angeles and returning to her first love, acting. And she made a very good choice. She has been nominated for an Academy Award and has won an Emmy as well as several other awards. She starred in more than 25 films and currently plays the lead role in an American TV series on Sci-Fi Network called The Expanse.
That's another thing. I want every Martian weapons facility under a microscope.
They are. And your belter will like gravity on Luna better.
It's the only thing you like. I'm afraid for him.
Heaven help your enemies, Christian.
Heaven help us all if Mars and the belt decide to share a toothbrush. Bold move. I'll give them that.
What?
The Cold War is over. This is something new.
Recently, Shohreh starred alongside Morgan Freeman and Clive Owen in the film Last Nights, and she has a starring role in the upcoming feature film The Promise, which debuts this year. Now, off-screen, Shohreh supports Mother Miracle, a nonprofit organization in India that works to improve the quality of life for children and families by providing a chance at quality education. Here to share her story about her amazing career and to tell us more about Mother Miracle is Shohreh Aghdashloo. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, you're so kind. Thank you so much for having me.
And I mean, let's be straight here. You have had an amazing acting career so far. You've won an Emmy Award, nominated for an Academy Award, multiple other awards. You can stop here and be really good. But is it still fresh to you and new to you and exciting to you?
It is always fresh, new, and exciting. I'm learning like a good teacher.
Yeah.
I used to tell my mother that which one of my teachers was the best. And my mother would ask me, why do you think she's the best? And I said, because she keeps studying when she goes home. It's not like that she knows everything now and she's trying to teach it to us. Every time she goes home, she studies herself to make sure what she is teaching us is...
And you appreciated that even then?
Absolutely.
The idea of continuing education.
Especially in this business, in my business. Yeah. It's like an ocean. The more you learn, the more you realize how little you know about this business.
Wow. Well, for you, though, because you grew up in Iran with traditional parents,
yes,
probably wanted you to do something much more traditional and conventional, right? Like most parents want their kids to do.
Modern thinking, yes.
Something
safe. My mother
safe.
would have loved for me to wear a... She said it, why on earth don't you become a secretary? Wear a nice Saint Laurent or Cartier scarf and a nice Cartier, drive to your work every morning and come home early. Why do you have to do this and work until 4 a.m.? And I'm like, Mom, I love my profession.
Right, so when did you know that you had this acting bug?
16.
Okay, so
I was already acting for the members of the family.
Oh, okay.
I started when I was 7. I would mock my family beautifully. The way that my uncle asked my mother, called my mother and said, ask Shohreh to stop it. I don't like it when Shohreh.
Really?
My mother told me and said, why do you think is that? I said, because I do a good job.
Yes.
But I didn't know it was acting.
Huh.
We were at the Caspian Sea with my cousins.
Okay.
They used to live there. It's in my book, in my memoir. Beautiful, beautiful part of my life. And one afternoon we decided to go and watch and see Gone with the Wind, which had recently came to the theaters in the Caspian Sea.
You must have been blown away.
I came out, I told my mother, I am becoming an actress no matter what. And she said, she looked at me and she said, not under our roof.
Oh, no.
And she was right.
Really?
They didn't allow me.
Yeah, so you had to kind of, not really sneak around, but you did things
I really liked the man whom I married. He was an artist, he was a painter. He had studied in Switzerland and France, very modern thinking, and I knew he was going to let me do it.
Yeah.
And I asked him. I didn't fool him. I didn't marry him first and then ask him.
And he was really supportive, wasn't he?
He was. As soon as I said, do you mind if I become an actress after we get married? And he goes, I don't see why not. When would you like to marry me?
I have to stop for a second right here and just talk about your voice. You have the most amazing, exotic, like unique voice. I thought I had a deep voice, but yours just puts mine to shame. Has that been an advantage to you, or?
Yes, especially in theater.
Yeah.
My mother has the same voice, but she's not happy with it.
Oh.
She was never happy with it. Because when people call home, they were like, hello, Mr. Vaziri, and she would say, this is Mrs.
Oh, no.
She had to. But I don't like to correct people. I love it when they take me for a stare.
Because when I was growing up, I had a low voice as a kid, and my mom hated it because it wasn't feminine enough. And she would always trying to change my voice, saying, may speak like this, a little more like this. I'm like, no.
Use your head voice. I know. I've heard that.
Oh, my God.
Okay, here, don't laugh too hard because, you know, when you have a thick voice, my mother, when we were going to the parties, oh, you don't look representable. You don't look right. What is this hair? And, by the way, please don't laugh loud. Just, you know, you have a thick voice. And I'm like, yes, I do know.
It sounds like you didn't really listen to your mom so much. Then you kind of just did your own thing.
I did my own thing. Which is the generation.
But that's why it's a good decision that you did, because you've been so successful. And what I love about the roles that you've taken over the years is that you've been very bold and courageous in the roles that you've taken, and they're very diverse.
And very choosy.
Sometimes controversial, though, right? Sometimes you choose some controversial.
Purposely.
Yeah.
Even controversial.
Yeah, one of them being 24,
yes.
right? Great series. Huge hit that series was. But you played a Middle Eastern terrorist, and some people criticize you for doing that.
They did.
But you totally disagree with their take, right? You have a different...
because my point was the fact that I'm an actor, and I give an arm and a leg for a complex character like her.
Right.
She was a mother, a lover, a woman, a believer, a follower. I mean, layer after layer after layer, and the way the brilliant writers of the 24 wrote these pieces, she started revealing throughout the season. It wasn't like at the very beginning, or she makes the arc in the middle. It was very smooth. They have amazing writers.
Yeah.
And very smoothly, she revealed herself throughout. And this is an amazing role, which every actor, again, would give an arm and a leg for.
Sure.
That was my answer to them. That, and also the fact that there weren't any Iranian names on the terrorist list.
Right.
And I said, do you see any Iranian names? And I don't understand why every time I'm good for a role to portray this role, I look better than my fellow American or, you know, fellow actor who's blonde. Why all of a sudden it is considered as a stereotype? Because I truly believe that if I'm good in doing this, I should do it.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Why not?
It's not a stereotype. If I'm good in doing this.
But I guess in a respectable way, to a certain extent. Yeah, but I think
it's about acting.
But boy, it must be so challenging, though, because of the politics and the issues and the cultural issues and social issues, to be able to try and marry all of that into a role and do it well, and have people believe you, right? That's acting. That's a good actor.
The acting, and also, you know, the politics around it.
Right. Right.
But you have to be careful.
Well, this, again, also about you is that you're very vocal about various issues, world issues, current events, politics. And I love it when I see high-profile people, celebrities, VIPs, who use their platform, their fame, to be able to talk about issues that are important and, you know, educate the public that way. That's really important to you, isn't it?
Absolutely. The platform, which you beautifully referred to, is the essence of my work. Right. I started it in the UK, London, Hyde Park. Right after I migrated to London, drove myself to London, from Tehran to London, having had to go through Istanbul, Yugoslavia, Italy, south of France.
How long did that take you?
God, 12 days.
Wow, okay.
Got myself to London and started studying. Went to Hyde Park Corner, Speaker Corner, saw people standing on boxes, fruit boxes, giving speeches, talking politics. And I said, everybody can do that. And my friend said, yes, of course, whoever would like to talk, all they need to do to bring a box with them. As of then, I took a box with me for a couple of weeks, stood on the box, and started, it's in the book, started talking about Iran and what was going on in Iran and all the injustices and the fact that thousands of people are now being displaced and stuff. So it started with that platform.
And you continued that.
And it continued, and every time it got bigger, they gave me an inch, I took a yard.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, because I was in a hurry,
Right.
and I really meant it. It wasn't like I was trying to make myself famous or I wasn't trying to become rich. In fact, every time I give classes, free classes to underprivileged children only, first thing I say, when I walk into the class, I say, if you're here for fame and fortune, you're in the wrong class. I didn't start it that way.
Right. Yeah.
You want to be useful to your people.
Yes, exactly. And
that's why I need that platform.
With purpose, right? With genuine purpose.
Genuine.
You know, speaking of another platform, and it's a current issue right now in Hollywood, the whole controversy over lack of diversity, right? We're hearing a lot about that in films and television, more in films than in TV. I think TV's doing a little bit better job. But when it comes to minorities, when it comes to women, and you're dealing with both, you represent both. What are your thoughts on what the current situation is like in Hollywood?
Hollywood or the American film industry in general, all industries are about numbers.
Yeah.
It's not about gender.
Yeah.
It's not about you and me. It's not about the color of my skin. It's about how much you and I make. How many followers do we have? When we make films, how much does it sell here in the United States? 20, 25 million. When it hits the Far East, 370 million.
Right. Big
Let me
difference.
tell you 20 million. So I can take you to the Far East and make 300 million.
But do you really don't think that it has to do with gender and ethnicity at all?
Not anymore.
Really?
People don't have time for that. And
But
nor
don't you
the
think
luxury.
don't you think there's still a fear, a conservative mentality thinking that if we go this route with a minority or a female lead, then we're taking a risk. We're taking a risk.
No, then it may sound like there is a conspiracy theory here. There
I
isn't.
don't think so.
This is the American film industry, mainstream. It's not about me. It's not about the immigrants. It involves me in beautiful ways. It talks about me, people like me. But it's not about me. It's the American main film industry.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm in it, sometimes I'm not in it. Sometimes I do a good job, so I'm nominated. Sometimes I haven't even done anything. I remember I met with this gentleman at the Universal once. Very nice man. We were passing through the corridor. He looked at me from far away and he said, "Woman, you know how to choose your roles." I said, "Sir, believe me, I do." I picked him up with a pair of tweezers. And he goes, "Why don't you come around? We missed you once. We want to give you the Oscar." You know. And I said, "I don't have any materials to come around. Haven't done anything."
Right.
Worthy of the Academy.
Right, but is that a problem that there's not enough of those materials, not enough of the roles being created?
No, it's not.
Well, not for you right now because you are busy.
No, not even when I wasn't working for 2 years.
Okay.
Industry didn't have any job for me.
Yeah. Another passion of yours is Mother Miracle. Now, tell me a little bit about what they do and why you decided to become involved.
I've sponsored kids since I first saw Oprah's early afternoon show. It was 27 or 8 years ago.
Okay.
She was asking us to join World Vision. And she was showing us these hungry kids and, with deformed faces and stuff, asking us to help them. And I started crying. I was pregnant. And I started crying watching this program. And as though it was talking to me, she looked at me, she looked into the camera and she said, "Don't cry. Pick up the phone."
Oh, she did.
Pick up the phone and get one of these kids, sponsor one of these kids.
And you did.
I started then.
Really? Okay.
But then one of my best friends, shallow childhood friends, went to India, year 2000. She came back. She was, rich. She had a beautiful house in San Rafael. We called it Shahlow's Castle. Sold that one. Sold a couple of properties. Went back to India. Started Mother Miracle.
Oh, wow.
Educate underprivileged, poor children who live in slum areas. She now has 257.
Wow.
8 of them are mine.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
So what has that experience been like for you, sponsoring children? What has that done for you? Because, they always say you get when you give, you get more back than you ever thought you would, right? The idea of giving. You get so much out of that.
It's so true. Tenfold. God will give you back tenfold. It's unbelievable. It's very rewarding. It's very heartwarming knowing that there are other people, in another place of the world, in the other half, who are depending on you, and you're helping them out to become somebody in this life. My eldest sponsored child, whose name is Mamta, is now a nurse. She turned a nurse a couple of months ago, and thank God for that, because last month her father, who was a bricklayer, fall off scaffolding.
Oh, no.
He cannot work now, and Mamta is playing for the whole family, 6 members of the family. She's
So
a nurse, and she makes...
that's got to be so rewarding for you to see that.
That brings me, the smile that I wear every morning. People keep telling me, because I always smile, no matter what. I wake up and I'm like, good morning. What are you, especially my husband is like, what are you so happy about? I'm like, I'm healthy, I have a job, and sun is out, it's beautiful. No bad news so far, so I'm happy.
Well, you should be smiling for a lot of reasons, because you are a busy lady when it comes to working.
Exactly.
You have a lot of jobs going on. Right now, one of your roles is in The Expanse, which is the sci-fi TV series.
It's a strong female role.
I was just going to say.
People keep asking me.
Yes, so you play this strong political leader. This is, obviously 200 years ahead in the future, right, when the solar system is colonized. So what is that like for you to play this hardcore, powerful woman?
This is the ultimate.
Is it?
I'm thinking, can any other sort of portrayals of other characters top this? No.
Really?
She is, first off, 200 years from now, she's Under Deputy Secretary of the United Nations, but her knowledge exceeds her title.
Okay.
She knows everybody's names at the UN. Apparently, this is something, a gift that people have, that remember everybody's names, She knows everybody's profiles, psychological backgrounds, pay rates. She even knows who is sleeping with whom. I mean, she's amazing. She's a master manipulator, and so powerful and amazing. And also, she's a woman, and she's from far, far, far east, or Never Never Land.
Right. I can tell you love this role.
Love it.
You're so excited just talking about it.
Because I can create her from scratch.
Right. Boy, you are one lucky lady. You have had some great projects going on. So what's next for you?
Wow. Next, right now I'm reading a book on tape. I do audiobooks as well.
Yeah.
Which I'm very, very proud.
Well, with that voice of yours, you should.
Thank you. I'm very proud, and I would like to announce it. I'm reading a Nobel Peace Prize winner's book, Miss Shirin Ebadi, from Iran. Obviously, it's in English. I'm also working on 2 films right now. Unfortunately, the kind of films I work on, I can't talk about this subject matter.
Okay.
But I can tell you, one is a light comedy. It's my first light comedy, which I loved, and I want to do it because I want to prove to my audience, not only my audience, but also the producers who are working with me, who would like to work with me, that I can do comedy, for Christ's sake. Just don't give me tragedies and dramas. But the other one is again, a very sort of political, pretty serious, and it's devastating. But it's a story that has to be told.
Well, it sounds like you are just action-packed days ahead for you, and now, and just going forward, and of course the work with Mother Miracle. Thank you so much for coming in. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, we'll see you
Likewise.
again. Yeah.
Really enjoyed this.
Thank you.
Thank you. It feels like home.
I know. Well, we try to make it home for
Love
everyone.
it.
But thank you so much, and we'll see you soon, I hope.
Absolutely.
All right.
We'd love to.
Well, coming up, educating and empowering girls in Afghanistan by teaching them to code. Yeah, we're talking about computer coding. That story when we come back.